Whoa, what's up? Today's video is on the Wayans brothers. And just like every other sitcom, it was lovable yet a dysfunctional family, you dig? And really, when you think about it, the Wayans brothers was the only lovable yet dysfunctional black family because we always was getting the Cosbys. You know, they was way far from dysfunctional. They had lightweight problems like Theo probably changed the grade on his report card on Family Matters when Eddie bought some stolen equipment or something. But the Wayans brothers was downright dysfunctional. And that brings us to the head of the family. Right there in the middle, you see Pops Williams, aka Sugar Pops. Y'all already know how he get down if you even watch the show. Now, in the first season, Pops was a stern yet cheap, proud owner of a diner in downtown New York, you did. Y'all know how he was with that damn diner. They used to be talking about, oh, Pops just came from out back chasing a rat or something, and they'll be like, don't eat the soup, you know, little bullshit like that. And you never saw something like that from a black father on TV. And I ain't gonna lie, it was a setback, yet it was pure comedy, and he did, within the first few seasons, try to instill like values and shit in his sons. But you can tell he raised them with values because whenever they would totally slip up, you know, well, within the first few fucking seasons before he became a total fucking alcoholic, because y'all know how they develop shows and make characters way fucking, they take them all away from their fucking values. Like, think about it. Go watch them first episodes when like back when Marlon started cooning, y'all. Was talking about some goddamn what it was, job malt liquor. Marlon was out there cooning, and his daddy was like, as much of an alcoholic as his pops was, he like, I'm not drinking that shit. You out there on TV and shit, you know, promoting this shit to kids and everything. And he was like, Pops, ain't no motherfucking kids gonna buy this. And the little white dude came in the store, and he was like, man, do the dance for me. I won't grow up and buy jobs just like you. But see, what it was about Pops is that he had put his foot down, you dig? He was like, nah, Marlon. You know, this shit deeper than me wanting to fucking drink, bro. You out here promoting this shit to fucking kids, you dig? But as it progressed, you know, they made him basically a wino, bro. Talking about, remember the episode where they was in the courtroom and they was like, do you drink, sir? Sean was like, do you drink, sir? He was like, well, I dabble, you know. And he said, sir, do you drink? And he was like, yeah, I like a little taste every now and then. You know what I'm saying? They made him a complete wino. Now, I can't lie. It was pure comedy, bro. But it was a major setback to me for the fucking, for black fathers on television. Because think about it. Pops Williams was the first cheap fucking cutting corners wino father on TV. And look at the way Pops dressed. He was the first character to do some shit like that. Because think of the black fathers after him. You think Mr. Brown just come out of nowhere? No, Mr. Brown is tacky because of Pops Williams right there with that bow tie and them suspenders. They just added a few things. But this dude was the first motherfucking dysfunctional wino Pops. And don't forget about on Jamie Foxx show. Remember Jamie King, his uncle or whatever? All of them, this shit is a developing character, you dig? But it started right here with his ass. Man, a lot of times he did have to check his wild son Marlon, which brings us to the next character, you dig? Now, Marlon is basically the comic relief of the whole fucking show. He the wacky youngest son of Pops, you dig? Now, Marlon character, a lot of people would just look at it from the comedy perspective, but his character was lightweight deep too. Because if you notice, he was always in competition with his brother for the love of his father, you did? But nobody kind of paid attention to it because it was, like I said, still funny as fuck, you did? But he always felt like Sean had the upper hand. Like when the dude joined the little a fucking modeling school where the woman was scamming his ass. Sean even hopped in and did better than the dude in that. And then remember when he laid up there and started acting on Everybody Loves Everybody and shit, cooning once again, talking about Lucius and all that bullshit. Sean even had a fucking role on there and did way better than Marlon. He was like blowing up, you did? But anyway, he was still fucking always in competition with his brother. And when it came to fucking women, Sean even took a few of his girlfriends, like that episode on goddamn Jerry Springer, you did? But Sean never looked at it that way to me. But as the character progressed, Marlon kind of got over that in the later seasons. He was more, like I said, they develop your character and they just want the pure bullshit of it by the end of the seasons. They just made him pure wacky to where the shit wasn't even funny no more. If you ask me, he was doing insanely too much cooning by the later episodes, you did. But that brings us to the next episode, the next character, my bad. And that's Sean, you dig? Now, Sean was seen as like the strong moral compass of the family, if you ask me. Like, he had the charm and shit, so he attracted all the women. And that's why I told y'all his brother always lightweight envied that. But what people ain't pay attention to Sean is that he was a real fucking a young black man trying to make it in corporate America. My bad, y'all. But he was out there fighting some battles, like that episode where they hired him due to affirmative action and shit. And Sean was like, man, I've been going to this job, you heard me? It's a fire job, they paying me. But all I do is sharpen pencils and shit. And he like, man, Popston was like, man, that's just the first day and shit. You know, man, you wait till you get in there tomorrow. And he got in there tomorrow. Oh, you filing papers today. What the fuck? So Sean laid up there while filing papers. He came across a letter that said, affirmative action hire. Like, basically, they have to hire a black person. So Sean knew what was popping, you dig? And Sean, knowing the white man and his tactics, he spoke to affirmative action before even speaking to them, you dig? So he popped up on his white boss or whatever, and he was like, man, y'all got me doing a little bullshit work. And the white boss is like, man, just take the easy check, nigga. You should be happy to be here, basically. Like Sean's supposed to be like, nigga, you ain't shit, basically, to Sean. You better take these crumbs, nigga. You should be happy you in my building. And Sean was like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. And opened up the door. Sean had a whole fucking corporate officer to come get at his stupid ass, you dig? So Sean did a lot of fire shit in the corporate world, you dig? So he was fighting his battles and shit too, you heard me? But people was kind of hating on Sean. I don't find too many people that like Sean's character, you dig? And I ain't gonna lie, today, y'all know he be doing all that lightweight fruity shit, you dig? Ain't nobody got time for that bullshit. I don't even watch their movies, but that's a whole fucking nother story. But let's speak on motherfucking D. I did D was kind of cool, you dig? I just ain't like how they did her character. If y'all ain't pay attention to her character, basically what they was doing was downgrading the shit out of the black woman, you dig? Because think about it, every time you saw her, she was lazy as hell at her job. I remember one episode, a dude walked up in that motherfucker and grabbed a whole goddamn stack of magazines and ran out of that motherfucker. And she was still eating a donut, talking about don't nothing get past me. So to me, they was kind of like, trying to make the single black woman look lazy as fuck. It probably was funny and all, but the shit, it wasn't cool, you dig? And when it came to her, they had but really, when you think about it, bro, she still was a strong woman because she took care of her elderly mama, you dig? And she always complained about it, but you could tell she loved it because she ain't had no man and shit. That was an ongoing joke on the show. And with this show, bro, they always had like walk-on characters who was funny as fuck still. Remember your boy TC? Man, TC was funny as a motherfucker. Thelonious Capricornio, matter of fact, you dig? Tacky as fuck, but he was funny as hell. And Dupree, the fat dude who Sean always a hop on him, he was funny as hell too. It's like whoever they brought on, that shit just added to that show. That show was fucking on fire, bro. But I wish they had kept all the morals like as a front to the story. I wish they in turn Pops to a total fucking wino, you dig? And turned Sean into a total like, oh, this what I ain't speak on Sean. He had like commitment issues basically, even though he found out it was because of Marlon that he thought women wasn't loyal because Marlon didn't give him a note, you dig, on I think it was his high school prom or something. So he was heartbroken ever since. And really on every episode, you see him with a different woman, you dig? So that was something I left out too, bro. But this was a great fucking show for black people too, you did? Because think about it, these men was owners. When you look at it all the way deeper, Pops was a fucking owner of a diner who made sure he raised his son to grow up to want to be an entrepreneur too. Because Sean laid up that, matter of fact, he fronted Sean the money to get in the Niedermeyer building. And to me, Niedermeyer was lightweight Donald Trump, y'all. I'm telling you, when you watch the show, but anyway, that's a whole fucking nother story. Yeah, but basically, that's the whole nutshell of it, you hear me? Once again, y'all holler at me.